We're going to start with San Diego and Minnesota because they are the top left game. It's going to be very, very interesting. You got Minnesota riding the high of that crazy comeback penalty win over Seattle, taking on the high flying newcomers of San Diego FC. Players to watch. This is a staple of our preview. We do it every year for every preseason for each team, but now we have to do it for the playoffs. And as you type away to look up the rosters of some players so that you can prepare for
Stop it.
this,
Stop
I
it.
am going to tell you that the player to watch in this series, it'd be silly if we didn't label Anders Dreyer as the player to watch. He is the newcomer of the year in MLS in 2025. Three of the 8 goals in the best of three series versus Portland came from him, as well as some other goal contributions and chance creation. If Minnesota want to have a chance, it's got to be stopping Andres Dreyer. However, we should be watching players on the other side as well, and the player I'm watching is going to be his defensive counterpart, Anthony Markanich. We know that he can score lots of goals. He gets forward very well. He's very, very good in the attack. He actually scored the goal that kept them in the running versus Seattle in game three in that crazy 10-man comeback. And you would imagine with Joseph Rosales out with the red card, he's going to get the start against San Diego. But you need to make sure that you're defensively strong against Dreyer. And the thing with Markanich is we know he can go forward, but what is he going to do defensively? I've got my eye on him. I'm very excited to watch what he can do. Connor, what do you got?
So for San Diego, I'm not gonna just pretend like there's not a singular person to watch here, but a Dryer would be my pick as well. I mean, as much as there are other talented players on this team, he has been above and beyond the best player on this team and arguably the best player in the league this season. So he's of course going to be the guy to watch. In my opinion, it's about this when you get to these one-off games, it's about the stars, who's going to show up and be able to perform, and you're gonna look to your star players. So to me, he's the focus for this team. For Minnesota, you mentioned Markanich. I'm gonna go with Joaquin Pereira. I think
Mhm.
maybe, we talked about him. You could probably say having a little bit of an underwhelming season. Not a bad season, but maybe a little bit higher expectations for what he'd be able to do. And I'm wondering if the free kick goal he scored against Seattle might be able to build some confidence for him going into this game against San Diego. So for me, I think he's going to be an important player for them, whether it's set pieces or whether it's in the actual build-up of the play. But I think he's going to be a really important part behind whether or not the attack for Minnesota is going to be successful against San Diego or not.
I like it. I like it. I Pereira was my um, David Goss Theorem Player of the Year, actually. So I would imagine, 7 or 8 goal contributions in the next 2 games would probably put him in the front running for that. So let's hope that happens. What I want to ask you then, it's time. Put it on record. Stand on business. Who you got winning?
Are you saying I can't be on the fence for all these?
I'm gonna
That
say
not
no.
allowed?
As you said, there are definitive answers for this, so I would imagine that you have to give a definitive answer.
My pick, and I don't personally think that they are a front runner in the Western Conference, but my pick is for San Diego to win this game and move to the conference finals. I am not sold on Minnesota. They got through the first round without winning a single game in 90 minutes, so that's not entirely convincing for me. I think San Diego, as much as, there were moments where they look susceptible against Portland, really showed their might in that third game and just blew Portland out of the water. And I think they're going to carry that momentum in a one-off game at home against Minnesota and win this one. That being said, as I hinted at before, I honestly think that they are the underdog in this conference finals, no matter who comes out of the other game, whether it's Vancouver or LAFC. But I think against Minnesota, they've got enough to get past them.
You from the start, you're already wrong. That's crazy.
Wow. We disagree right at the start.
This was the toughest I think that I had to pick. I think this was the hardest game to pick. Portland didn't look good because Portland wasn't good, right? So San Diego, they got through 3 games, but you weren't sold on them, right? Minnesota, much, much more gooder. right? Much more gooder with their back three or five shape. They're going to have a little bit more stability, and they love to play without the ball, right? They will sit in and counterattack you until they're blue in the face. Both of the games that they played against each other were shootouts, and not in the penalty shootout sense, but in the sense that there were a lot of goals. Minnesota lost 4-2 at home and then went on the road and won 3-1. In the 4-2 games, two goals came from Milan Olowski, who, as we know, is no longer with San Diego, and Dane St. Clair was out, not playing in that game. Big difference, right? Their backup was not at the level that he needed to be. They got blown out. In the 3-1 game, they kept Dreyer, Lozano, and Pellegrino quiet, something that they're going to have to do again if they want any chance of winning. The interesting note that I have here, and again, you know us, we're very analytical. We go with a lot of numbers and stats. San Diego were very, very good on the road. They only lost once on the road. However, their other losses came at home. And guess where they're playing?
Was that an actual guess or was it
It
a
was.
rhetorical question?
Guess,
Obviously, we know where they're playing. They're playing
oh,
at
they're
home.
playing at home. They're not that good at home. They're not as good at home, I should say. Let me rephrase that. Two of their five losses came in the last five matches of the season, and one of them was against Minnesota. We can look into matchups. We can look into everything else. It's a one-off game. You've got a San Diego team that's flying high, but a Minnesota team that is comfortable taking games to penalties. They're comfortable sitting in and yeah, they didn't win a game in regulation. You're right. Because they know that that's what they didn't need to do that to win the series, regardless of what you think about it. But they had the gumption and they had the commitment to win the series outright. I'm going Minnesota win 2-1 here. I think that they are able to see this out and end San Diego's magic run.
Listen, I think I'm not sold on San Diego either. I 100% agree on that, but I'm even more less sold on Minnesota. I just they scraped by Seattle, and to be honest with you, and you could look at it just from this season's perspective, Seattle does not have a player like Dreyer. Your point, my screen's tiny.
Look at Grace. She's just sitting there watching. She's like, say something silly. I dare you. Say something.
You're derailing my whole conversation.
Well, because your conversation is useless. What are you telling me? Oh, they don't have. You're telling me that Paul Rothrock is not Andres Dreyer? Put some
I am.
respect. Put some
I am. Those are
respect.
two separate people.
Put some respect.
I've seen them both in the same room. I know they're two separate
You
people.
definitely have not.
I have.
That would mean you would have to turn on Apple TV and watch the soccer game, which I know you have not.
I will Google it right now, and I bet I'll find a picture of them together.
Don't do that.
All right. Well, we disagree already on the first one, so that's good.